the mission for actually putting forward this app, what was the root of that, and what's the bigger story around that?
Yes, so there was two starting points for that. One was at that beginning point where I became aware of the thoughts I was creating, how that was created my reality, and I was not happy with my reality. I had just come out of a very ugly divorce. I was not in a really good space with my children at the time. They're still my children, but with my children.
Right.
And or my ex-wife. And I just noticed, like, it doesn't have to be this way. And I was also going through a breakup. And I noticed as I was becoming aware of my thoughts, I was in a really peaceful place one day. I was walking my dog, and suddenly I was looking at my phone. I remember that much. And suddenly I started feeling all this tension over my shoulder. And that's typically where I'm very sensitive to my body, where I would start to feel if I was stressed out or if I was thinking thoughts that would just stress me out, I would start to feel it over in my left shoulder.
Yes.
And I was like, wait, stop a second. What was I just thinking that has that stress? Because I'm walking my dog. I feel great. It's the early morning. There's nothing to be stressed about. And I went back, and sure enough, like I was just like in my thoughts, even though I was doing something on my phone, the thoughts that were running were that of just this negative conversation about the breakup I was going through. And I'm like, wow, if my thoughts are that powerful to manifest stress in my body, let's see if I can actually reverse that. And so I literally just started giving gratitude for this relationship, for everything I'd learned.
Yes.
And I literally just watched the energy unravel on my shoulder. I mean, I have goosebumps just thinking about it because it was so surreal. I remember where I was standing, where I was walking my dog, where I lived in that moment that it happened. The thing about life is that we've never arrived anywhere. It's always a journey and growing. And so I've learned to give myself space for that. And even though I've been on this journey for a long time, and I have the awareness and the mindfulness of the right things to do, so to speak, or where I want to be, there's still the journey of getting to that point and still like erasing all those memories, that cellular memory of, and all the thoughts that we've had for so many years since birth that create our reality. And so I was at a point with my relationship with my children and my ex-wife, again, still, that just was not in the place where I wanted it to be. And I just finally had enough of all the work that I'd done to really recreate who I am, and had lots of evidence of that going the right direction. There were still some things in my relationship that just wasn't happening how I wanted. And I just had a solid conversation with my ex-wife and my kids on that particular day in October of 2016 that was a very tough conversation. And it was one of the toughest conversations literally that I had my entire life. And over the next 24 hours, I found myself like, what did I just do? It was one of those WTF moments. Like, I just cut my kids out of my life. I just cut my ex-wife out of my life. And what I realized in that 24 hours is, one, I actually became suicidal in that time. Like, I really struggled with, they're my life. I realize they're the whole reason that I live and I exist. And they may not always see that, and I may not always realize that, but they're the reason. And everything that I get to do in life is a benefit because of them.
Wow.
And I realized the depth of my love for them in that 24 hours. And it was somewhere in that 24 hours that I said, you know what? F this. I'm going to go become the best version of myself that I can possibly be.